My mother loved Christmas. On August 1st, the Christmas records came out and the Hallmark station came on. She'd watch It's a Wonderful Life on repeat. A holiday hostage, my child self witnessed George Bailey's fruitless struggle to escape Bedford Falls 4 times a year. I had no way of knowing the film would be prophetic. I first arrived in Blue Hill just before dawn after a tremendous snowstorm 1 week early in February of 1982. My mother, a Mars Hill County girl, insisted I'd be born that day, and you crossed her at your peril. Even a Jersey boy like my dad knew better than to try that. As the sun rose, he held me up for my first view of the world, a sprawling Gothic cemetery directly across from the hospital. A beginning and an ending shown to me right from the start. My dad was one of 10 children, and my mom was one of 6, but for 3 decades, it was just the 3 of us. As lovely as that closeness was, being part of an inseparable we left little place for an I. I never felt I fit. I gravitated towards older generations, older films. It seemed like I'd been dropped in the wrong century. Maybe that's why I always felt keenly aware of time. I knew the maple near Town Hall turned amber first to signal autumn's coming. The violet crocuses nudging through the dirt across from Partridge Drug Store heralded spring's return. And I also sensed the tick-tock undercurrent that kept Captain Hook up at night, a predatory form of time well known to my family. When I was 4, my mother's appendix ruptured. The doctors dismissed her complaints and sent her home until she turned green and collapsed a week later. It was the first of many times we nearly lost her. Once before surgery, she took my hand and whispered, "Don't worry, honey, Mommy's too mean to die." But such reassurance rings hollow to an only child. I found a place of belonging on the stage. It wasn't the spotlight I loved. It is what you felt just before your eyes adjusted to that spotlight. An electric thrum, a charge that seeped into your marrow as you sensed the audience before you saw them, your heart linking to theirs in a communication predating language. I never wanted to lose that connection. At 18, I packed up, vowing to leave forever. I'd complete college, head to London for theater or New York for film, but after a series of failures, I developed stage fright so severe, I lost my voice, I fled the stage, unable to return. Instead, I returned home. My mom had developed cancer. I took a teaching job while Mom underwent chemo, promising myself I'd stay only a year. But as with George Bailey, life had other plans. There was always another student I wanted to help, another bill to pay. Mom's cancer cleared, then Dad had a heart attack. 1 year became 12. My anxiety spread, poisoning, driving, flying, socializing, sleeping. Like an outdated computer, my brain atrophied one system at a time. My world shrank to a daily routine. I might have stayed that way. But when my favorite actor, Alan Rickman, and my childhood hero, David Bowie, unexpectedly died back to back, an image formed of the Grim Reaper, stuck in traffic, waiting for the light to change. I realized the only guaranteed moment was the present one, and I was wasting it. I forced myself to fly to a convention to talk to actors. After one actors panel inspired me, I went shaking to an audition, my first in 20 years, at New Surrey Theatre. I got the part, then another. My anxiety faded, my voice returned, and then COVID hit. 1 month later, on her 71st birthday, I lost my mom to a massive stroke. While trying to teach in a pandemic, I suddenly found myself the head of a family and the primary support for my dad. 4 other loved ones died, and no part of the world felt untouched by tragedy. My childhood terror of losing everyone seemed to have come to pass. And yet for all my viewings of It's a Wonderful Life, I had forgotten the finale. At my lowest, I didn't meet an angel. I befriended an ex-vampire. The actor whose talk helped me act again and who specialized in playing villains and monsters became a quarantine mentor to me. My mentor taught me 90% of our bodies contain material found from the stars of the Big Bang. Our hearts have traveled the galaxy together for millennia. Is it any wonder then we sometimes feel lost? We don't belong anywhere because we all belong everywhere. The place doesn't matter. The people we journey with do. Through talks with him and other artists, I focused not on what was being taken away, but what could still be done. With their help and the help of good friends, I found ways to do theater in COVID with adults and students. I put my fear, my anger, and my grief into the roles I played, and for the first time, felt connected to my town and those in it. And so I've started traveling again with the intention to always return. After my last trip, the Bangor airport parking attendant showed me a mockingbird he raised in a nest across from his station. The bird mimics cardinals, crows, even me, he said, but only for a while. When it's ready, it takes all those notes and turns them into a song all its own. I'm a mockingbird too. Perhaps we all are, taking the best parts of those we meet to shape into the people we finally become. I often walk down to the Blue Hill Pier, and that first view my father showed me. The hospital and the cemetery remain, but if you turn just 2 steps to the right, the view shifts to the open sea. My town isn't and never was a place, it's a port, forever welcoming you home as much as wishing you luck on your way. And as I sit on the dock, the parking attendant's parting words echo. Remember, dear, don't have a good day. Have a good life. It's a lesson that's been sinking in over time. Through all the changes and travels, I believe he is almost right. Even on the darkest days, it truly is not just a good life. It's a wonderful life.